For basically all of human history, one story has defined our relationship with our planet's most vital resource, and that's the story of scarcity. But what if I told you that story is about to get a major rewrite? Today, we're going to dive into a massive shift in how we think about, access, and use water, moving from this ancient reality of scarcity to a brand new one of abundance.
I mean, just think about that for a second. For thousands of years, wars have been fought, empires have risen and fallen, and entire societies have been built around who controls the water. It's been the ultimate zero-sum game. But this question, well, it's not just a fantasy anymore. It's actually becoming a genuine possibility. Okay, so to really get this shift, we need to understand a core concept, the scarcity economy. The source material calls this the operating system for our day two civilization. Think of it like the background code that's been running humanity for centuries, and it's all built on one simple assumption. There just isn't enough to go around. And that idea has shaped, well, pretty much everything. So, let's unpack this historical trap, shall we? How exactly has the scarcity of water defined our world for millennia? It was simple, and it was absolutely brutal. If you happened to live near a river, a lake, or in a place with good rainfall, your civilization could thrive. If you didn't, you struggled, you moved, or you just vanished. Your entire fate was literally tied to your location on a map, period.
Now, what's so interesting about the slide is how clearly it lays out the paradigm shift. In the day two world, our past, we were totally dependent on massive, fragile infrastructure, like dams and, frankly, the luck of the weather. But in the day four future, technology makes the source of water independent of geography. Purity shifts from these huge, expensive, centralized plants to local, decentralized recycling. And this is the real kicker. Access transforms from a scarce commodity you have to fight for into a universal utility, just like electricity or the internet. So the big question is, how do we get from that past to this future? Well, we're actually living through the bridge right now, what the source calls the day three transition. This is the abundance revolution. This right here is the crucial point. For the very first time in human history, technology is shattering that ancient link between where you are and whether or not you have water. A powerful technological revolution is making water available where we need it, not just where it happens to be. And this revolution is really standing on three main pillars. First, you've got advanced desalination, which is getting cheaper and way more efficient. Second, atmospheric water generators. I mean, these things can literally pull fresh water right out of the air. And third, closed-loop recycling systems that treat and reuse water right where it's used. And this brilliantly illustrates how the power dynamic is shifting. Instead of relying on these massive, vulnerable dams and pipelines, these technologies create decentralized, much more resilient water systems. Local desalination gives coastal cities independence. Atmospheric generators can provide water to arid inland regions. Even our buildings become water sources through rain capture, and community recycling just closes the whole loop. It's a total shift from a fragile top-down system to a resilient bottom-up network. Okay, so this incredible technological shift leads us to a whole new paradigm. When water is no longer scarce, what does it become? And how does that change the very way we organize society? I love this quote from the source material because it just hits the nail on the head. The technology is here, or it's very nearly here. The real bottleneck, the real holdup, isn't invention. It's our collective mindset. It's the time it's going to take for our economies, our politics, and our cultures to catch up and finally mature beyond that old scarcity trap. And this maturity is exactly what lets us build a new operating system for civilization. In day four, abundance isn't just a nice to have, it's the foundational logic. It's a world where we design our systems assuming there is enough, not that there isn't. So let's make this really concrete. In the old day two model, water is a commodity, it's a product you buy and sell. Access depends on your wealth, and the system is often managed for profit, which sometimes means keeping it scarce. But in the day four model, water becomes a utility, a foundational right for all. Access is guaranteed by the very design of the system, and it's managed for the well-being of everyone. I mean, that is a profound change. So what does this future actually look like? What are the incredible ripple effects when water becomes an abundant universal utility? The source calls this the utility mesh, where abundance in one area just feeds abundance in others. Think about it. Plentiful water means we can have vertical farms in the middle of deserts, securing our food supply. It allows us to build truly resilient cities.
It's absolutely essential for clean energy, like green hydrogen, and it removes one of the biggest brakes on economic potential and development we've ever had.
And that's the ultimate takeaway, right? Solving water scarcity isn't just about water. It's a foundational step towards solving food scarcity, energy scarcity, and even geopolitical conflict. It is the keystone for building a more stable, more prosperous, and way more cooperative world. And this is the question that a post-scarcity world leaves us with. When we finally free ourselves from this millennia-long struggle for survival, when a need as basic as water is met for every single person, what great challenges, what new explorations, what higher purposes will humanity turn its attention to? What do we choose to become?